Alright, so we are back. There's been a little bit of a transition since the last video ended. Basically, I'm working to get us caught back up to where we can continue on with the story. So I completed some small quests, gained access to the hunting log. The hunting log is basically a way to get bonus experience for killing specific enemies in specific locations. They're spread out all over the place, so they're not just in one small area. They're going to be in places that I haven't even visited yet. But right now I should be able to get most of these relatively quickly. You can tell that an enemy is on your hunting log by the little swirl icon. Not real sure what you would even call that, but it's definitely different from a class quest or a main scenario quest. So it's just like anything else, you just kill them, and it will tell you in the bottom corner when you slay them how many more you have to do. And then once you complete it, it tells you the experience. You get the experience up here, and you move on to the next enemy. So I have to kill 3. So we will knock those out real quick. Speed things up a bit. Pull that next enemy. Alright, that should be all 3. You get a pretty nice chunk of XP. It's very, very effective for leveling low jobs, getting them caught back up. The interesting thing about this game is that instead of leveling multiple characters like you do in most MMOs, like World of Warcraft or Star Wars, you can be anything. So the positive to that is that I don't have to spend time recreating my character and going through the same story pieces over and over. The downside is every single time you switch jobs, every job is leveled independently. With the exception of the uniqueness of Scholar and Summoner, how they're always connected. Every other job, if I switch to anything else, it will be level 1 when I start it. Until I get to jobs that are in later expansions, and then they have starting points at 30 or 50. So the hunting logs are effective because you're not going to get the benefit on subsequent jobs and subsequent classes of the main scenario XP, and that is a significant portion of your experience. So to make up for that, they give you alternative paths to gaining experience. So I'm moving things around here because I'm anticipating this character actually being more of a scholar than a summoner. So I'm going to position myself to where I get used to using healing spells on my main bar and damage spells on my secondary bar. And then our pets, I'm actually going to move them over here to buttons that aren't really utilized very often. I'm going to go ahead and summon my first pet here. This is a caster pet, so it will be doing ranged damage. Look at that. Absolutely adorable. Alright, so we hit level 4. That means we still don't have high enough level to do the class quest, but we did make it far enough. You can see my icon is not red anymore. On the map, I can do the main scenario quest, which will get me pretty close to 5. So we're going to do that now. Alright, so we go back to our Adventurers Guild person. This is who's going to give us our main story for a little while until things have picked up. So in this case, we're going to get options when we finish our quest. They're going to give us the choice between two different pairs of shoes. The difference being one is very specific to Disciples of War. So that would be like physical damage dealers and tanks. This other one is really just, it says it's for anybody, but it's more caster gear because it has intelligence and mind. Intelligence is for damage casters and mind is for healers. Or if we didn't want either of them, if this is like a multiple job scenario, you could always take the gold. This item, the only use for it is selling it for money. So we're going to pick that up, and we're going to go to Summerford Farms. Click on this. We are unattuned to that location. It is in Middle Lenosia. So to get there, the fastest way to get there is to take the travel point that is really kind of just behind us. So we're going to go out this door. And we're going to spin around. I think we have to be in Lower Lenosia for this. So we're probably going to end up taking a path down. Actually, we'll do this the easy way. We'll just take the lift. This is probably my least favorite city, honestly. No, that is not where I want to go. Your starting city is determined by which initial class you pick. You are not tied to that in any way. Once you progress the main scenario far enough and you have free reign of all of the main city-states, you will eventually choose which to align yourself with. And again, all this does is it impacts PvP and it impacts some of the additional quests, but it doesn't really change the game itself. You're still going to have access to the same things. So it'll just be, is there a particular aesthetic you prefer? In this case, if you prefer pirates and pirate gear and ships and things like that, you probably want to stay with this group. If you like more nature, trees and forests, that would be the Gridanians, city-state. And if you like more of like a desert theme, that would be Ulda. This is another enemy that's on my hunting log, so I'm going to knock those kills out while I'm running by. Get some bonus experience. These enemies are using ranged AoEs. So you see, as soon as I aggro them, I catch their attention, they cast it on me, and I have to move. Fireball. Your enemy list, you can move it wherever you want. I think the default is on the left side of the screen. I move it to the right because I do a lot of healing and I prefer my people to be on the left. It's certainly up to you where you have things. Any enemy that you have some level of attention for. So it has caught, you have caught its attention. You have aggro, you have enmity, is what this game calls it. Anything that you have some level of aggro with will show up on that list, whether you have seen them or not. Sometimes you don't even know where they're at. Is this in here? Nope, we're going to be upstairs. You can use that list to target. The icons that you see will tell you how much threat you have on those. If you're out questing by yourself, you're pretty much always going to have maximum threat on everything because it's paying attention to you. But if you're in a group setting and you're not a tank, you don't want to have the little red icons next to the enemy names. You want green circles, which means they know you're there, but they really don't care about you. Alright, so we are going to select the leather sandals because we are a caster. Regardless of which direction I go, I definitely want those. I will be picking up a gladiator once I have access to Ulda and can switch classes. But right now I'm going to pick what this class needs, and I can always buy or collect other gear by doing some of those yellow quests that I'm skipping. That's where you get a lot of your gear. Then the main scenario will also give you regular upgrades on your weapons and your main gear pieces. As a matter of fact, this quest right here is basically saying don't come back to me until you have level 5 gear on your head, body, hands, leg, and feet. So the primary gear types that are going to be on the left side of my character sheet. So I don't even have a headpiece on right now. It wants level 5 head, body, hands. It's not worried about the belt, but obviously it would be nice to have one. Pants, which in this case is a skirt, and then boots. So one of the nice things about this game is that it's always trying to give you the best options. But it's not going to tell you that unless you actually go up here to this thing, right? Which is recommended gear. If you have something in your inventory that is better than what you're wearing, when you click this, you're going to get a little icon that says, hey, are you aware that you have these in your inventory? These would be better for you. You need to equip these. And you can see the box on the right has the name of the item, and then you'll usually see a green number indicating what is actually better. So in this case, like these pants, they don't really offer me any stats, but they do offer additional defense and magic defense. So that's why the game wants me to put them on, because they're better for me. Now, some people will say the true end game of this game is glamour. It's what your character looks like. When you're leveling up, you're going to look crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and hit equip. Now, why do I look this crazy? So this is not my first character. I've been playing for quite some time. So I have acquired a lot of legacy items and things for being a subscriber. So this entire outfit right here is something that I got for being a subscriber. This little headpiece is something I got for, I believe, buying a collector's edition to Heaven's Word. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to turn off the headpiece because that's crazy. And we're going to run around like this for a little while. Once I get a little bit more money and I can buy an item called a glamour crystal, we can change the way that a piece of gear looks. It doesn't change the stats, but it changes how it looks to something that's more what we want. So right now, it doesn't quite get me there. Didn't get what I needed. So all these items, even though they were better than what I had, they were all level 1, except for the boots. They're all level 1. So yes, they're better than what I had on, and I had more defense, but I need to get some more gear. So this guy is going to give me some orange juice. Alright. It's going to give me orange juice and XP and money. I can use money to buy gear if I want. I can use the XP because you always need experience. This guy, more experience, more money. So let's knock out some of these additional side quests. He wants me to take a shovel. And he's probably going to want me to interact with some dirt, which happens to also be down where the rest of the quests are. So you can sort of kill two birds with one stone, do multiple things in an area. So if you are going to do side quests, pick all of them up, because you'll often find that the place where you're going to execute those or complete those are all in the same place, and then you'll go back to the original hub and turn them in. So we're going to clean up this place. Apparently there's beer bottles everywhere, wine bottles. So, okay, here's something new. This is a fate icon. Fate icons are purple. There are going to be a wide range of them. In this case, up here, you see this one is just an area. There's just a quest going on right now, and it's got a time limit, and it has been progressed 0%. Nobody's up there doing it, which basically, if I go up there, it's a level 10 quest, Sister Crustacean, so I'm guessing there's probably crabs involved. This person, he is some type of gatherer, or he has a quest where he's not going to move. He's going to say, go do something. In this case, it's telling me, hey, this is recommended for level 6. You're level 5. Just beware of that. I'm going to go ahead and initiate it anyway. You can see up here, I'm in a fate. This tells me you're in a fate, and you'll see a blue circle on the map. He wants me to whack-a-mole. So now, look at these little enemies popped up. They were not there before. So this is a fate enemy. If you are appropriate level and you're running through the area, these will be aggressive towards you in most cases. If you're too high of a level or too low, well, too low, they'll still aggro you, but you'll get an error message that pops up that says you're really low, you're not going to get much experience for doing this. If you're too high, it will basically say you're not allowed to be here unless you click a button that's up in the upper right that says level sync. It will basically turn you into the maximum level that fate is appropriate for. So if I was level 20 right now, it would probably drop me down to like 8 or 9 or 10. I would still get XP, but I wouldn't get as much as I would if I was a regular character trying to level. But it's a good way that you can do content with lower level characters. If you're too high and you try to interact with a quest, a fate enemy, you won't be able to target them. You won't be able to hurt them. They won't be able to hurt you. So you can't just run around and have like a level 50 person come through and just destroy everything and ruin everybody's day. They would have to convert themselves down to level 10. You lose access to the spells that you would not have if you were that level. So if you're a level 50 character and you come down to a level 10 area and do a fate, you only have level 10 spells. So we completed it because we killed everything fast enough. We had quite a few people here doing it, and we got a gold medal for participation. So I got a huge chunk of XP, and I got some money. Easy, easy, easy. That was way faster than doing a quest, and these are always running in the zones. They're just running, running, running. You can look up things that tell you how often they spawn. Some of them will branch, where it will start one, it'll finish, and then it'll turn into another quest. And then it'll turn into another quest, and another quest, and another quest, until you get this final epic, usually boss fight of some kind that ends up in huge amounts of XP. Those are pretty rare. There are only certain zones that have them. But if you come across them, or if you find out, oh, this is a branching fate, if you're anywhere near that level, do it. It's easy XP. You'll usually find groups that are doing it because it is so lucrative, and you can usually blaze through it pretty quick. One of the downsides is so many people are higher level in this game, and they blaze through their early levels by doing some additional content that we don't have access to yet, that fates are not always easy because you're by yourself. You know, I was lucky. I had 2 or 3 people there that helped me, essentially, that cleared it with me. But there are a lot of fates out in the world. You won't even have somebody with you, so you won't always be able to complete them. Or you'll be able to do some of the work, but you won't get a good score because you didn't actually kill the mob if it was a boss or something to that effect. So you won't always be able to do it, but at least trying, you'll get something for it. Oh, this little quest had an enemy aggro. So you can see this icon keeps changing from green to yellow. Yellow means, hey, you're getting their attention. But because I didn't attack, my pet, essentially my carbuncle here, had aggro. It had the enemy's attention. But I caused so much damage that every time I would hit it, the enemy would go, hey, wait a minute, what hit me? What was that? But it wasn't enough damage to make it stop attacking my pet. Now I have aggro, now I don't. I hit it, now I have aggro. That red circle means you have it. The orange sort of triangle means you are very, very close. Stop attacking. You can also see over here, this is second on the aggro list. My carbuncle is second on the list because I have aggro. If I were to wait and just sit here and slowly let that tick away, now she has aggro, I'll say she, and I don't. You can kind of see how they bounce back and forth. If you're in a group, you want the tank to have the A and everyone else to be lower on the list. You will eventually get some spells that allow you to lower your enmity if you want. Healers have a spell that gives them mana back, and it also has a nice bonus effect of decreasing their threat. So if they already have threat on things and they go, oh no, I've accidentally pulled, they hit that spell, and that allows a tank or another player or even your pet to help you out a little bit. Because if you get 4 or 5 enemies on you as a caster, you're in big trouble. So none of these quests are giving gear, which is unfortunate. Let's see. I think this person's behind the building. There are a lot of quests that give you potions and things at the beginning because they know you don't have good defense, you don't have a lot of spells, you're not going to be able to keep yourself alive. So a lot of early quests will give you that. So okay, I hit level 6 actually. So I gained my Aether gauge. Every class has some type of gauge associated with their character, and then at a higher level it becomes expanded and becomes more complex. In this case, for me, Aether gauge tells me how attuned I am to the Aether. Certain spells can only be cast when you have these. So like this spell right here, Energy Drain, deals unaspected damage of 150 and also restores health and mana. Very important for me as a caster. But I can't use that. Well, for starters, I'm not targeting anything, but even if I could, I can't use that unless I have one of these active. So let's move some things around here. We're going to move this to 4, and then Aether Flow, we're going to move up to Control 1. So this instantly gives me 10% of my mana back, which is fantastic, but it also gives me Aether Flow. It then has a cooldown, but that will sit there until I use it. It's not going anywhere. So I can hold on to it. Once this comes off of cooldown, if you don't have any Aether Flow, pop it. Use it. That way they can sit there and be ready for when you need them. And then let this cooldown start. That way by the time I get around to using this, this is ready again and I can go right back into it. So let's see what our quests have in store for us now. So this has got us branching out a little bit. I've still got a quest that I picked up earlier to go kill some of those floating squid creatures that I kind of abandoned once I hit a certain level. I am high enough level I can go back and do my class quest, so we'll actually do that once we finish this Orange Crush quest. It'll take me back to town. That will also allow me to purchase some gear if I want to speed up this process. So I see on my map, I've got some yellow icons up here, which are characters I need to interact with. So I need to kill these puck hatchlings for that quest. Then I also have an area effect telling me, hey, there are some more enemies over there. We're going to use our Aether Flow up. attack that enemy. And then once we finish the caster, we're going to use Aether Flow again, attack that enemy. Very hard-hitting spell, very good at giving mana back, giving health back, and just doing a ton of damage. Very good spell, very strong spell, especially for such a low level. We have to kill 5 of these, so we're going to try to blaze through them as quickly as we can. Being a pet class, you end up killing things very quickly because your character is constantly doing damage. There are pets that are tanks, there are pets that are AoE users, there are pets that are more physical users, physical damage dealers. If you're a scholar, which is what this character is really going to become, at least this job, your pets are healers. They're fairies that heal or shield. So very interesting, frees you up to do other things. If you're a healer, you can do damage. If you're a damage dealer, you're going to be managing buffs and debuffs. But if you needed to heal as a healer, you could. I mean, even as a damage dealer right now, I have access to a heal spell. So if I need to, I could heal myself, I could heal somebody else, I could heal my pet. We're going to use our Aether Flow and have that sitting in our gauge. Run back up here, complete this quest, and then we're going back to town, and we'll continue on with our class. Probably end this video when I get back to town, and in the next series we will continue with our job quest, and we will make sure that we can buy our, totally ran right by the guy, buy our gear to move ahead in the story.